لله رب العالمين الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله بعد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت باركت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد بعد. Now the Shaykh goes on to the very important topic or chapter of Al-Huquq al-Zawjiyah or Huquq al-Zawjiyah, the rights of the spouses. Huquq, rights al-Zawjiyah of spouses, we can call it that in English, or marital rights. What does your wife have which she has to do for you? What do you have to do for her? What does Islam say about that? He says, the family is the first building block of society. The family, the marriage, when a man and a woman decide to become husband and wife, that's the first building block of society. The whole society, anywhere, everywhere, anytime, it has to be built from individuals, and individuals, they come together to form the first building block of society. Then this family and that family and that family and that family form a neighborhood or a community. This community and that community, that one and that one, it forms an ummah. Okay? It's like that. You take away that building block, the whole ummah collapses or suffers. If it is in a good state, the society as a whole will be in a good state, the family. If it is in a rotten state, the society as a whole will be in a rotten state. For this reason, Islam has paid a great deal of attention to make the makeup of the family. Islam has paid a great deal of attention to the makeup of the family and has made requirements in it that produce soundness and happiness. Islam has set these laws so that the family, this building block, will be a good block which produces in the end, not just for the two of them, for the whole society, soundness and happiness. Islam considers the family to be a structure that is built upon the union of two people. Islam considers the family to be a structure that is built upon the union of two people. The most responsible person is the husband. The most responsible person, Islamically, is the husband. If you're married, you should know that today. If you didn't know, if you knew, it's a reminder for you. If you're not married, prepare yourself. Allah has said, الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم فالصالحات قانتات حافظات للغيب بما حفظ الله, to the end of the ayah, Surah An-Nisa. Man, Allah says, men are the protectors and maintainers of women. It's your job. You are the protector and the maintainer of the women. Because, why? Because Allah has made one of them to excel the other. The man is not like the woman. And anybody who says that they are equal, he's crazy. His mind is not working. The man is different from the woman. It's just like that. They are created like that. They are different in their bodies. They are different in their minds. They are different in the way they react to things. Men are not like women. And because they spend to support them from their means. Therefore, the righteous women who are devoutly obedient to Allah and to their husbands and guard in their husbands' absence what Allah orders them to guard, up to the end of the ayah. He says Islam has given each spouse rights upon their partners. By fulfilling these rights, this structure will become secure and will continue. And by not fulfilling these rights, this structure will be shaky. At least it will be shaky. And most of the times it will collapse. Islam has exhorted each of the partners to fulfill their responsibilities. Each of them, each of you. You have responsibilities. You have responsibilities. The wife, you have responsibilities. The husband, you have responsibilities. It's a partnership. It's a partnership. It's not a sole proprietorship. It's not a monopoly. You are in this together. Either you direct your ship, or if you want to call it a plane, well, or if the ship sinks, does just one person sink or both of you sink? Both of you sink. And if you want planes instead of ships, it's even worse. When the plane drops and falls, what happens? You know what happens. It also encourages, meaning Islam, also encourages one to overlook temporary shortcomings that may occur in receiving one's rights. Islam encourages you to overlook. Remember what the Sheikh said 2 or 3 weeks ago? Sometimes you have to close one eye. You don't get that, most of you. I told you, wait until you get married. Okay. Then you'll get it. Islam, it says, overlook the temporary shortcomings which may occur in receiving one's rights. Not just the shortcomings she has, not the shortcomings he has, just the shortcomings which, even in fulfilling the rights, he's human, she's human. Obviously, she's going to make mistakes in fulfilling your rights. Islam says overlook that. Don't just be somebody who's looking for every single mistake. Otherwise, you'll never be married. You'll be divorced, then you'll get married, you think, okay, this is the one, you'll be divorced, then you say, this is the one, you'll be divorced, then you say, I don't want to get married again. All the women are evil. And of course, you are wrong. There's a problem with you. They could have problems also, yes, but there's a problem with you also. You're living in Cinderella world. Cinderella world. What is the other one called apart from Cinderella? No, on the girl's side. Snow White was waiting for the prince. Listen carefully. It does not happen. Brothers, sisters, there's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. Everybody has deficiencies. Everybody has shortcomings. Everybody has some bad manners which they have. All of us, including me, including anybody you know. Only the Prophet ﷺ was complete and perfect. Only him. We are humans. We are not angels. We are not angels. You have to get yourself into that mindset. If you're married or if you want to get married, trust me, you have to get yourself in that mindset. Otherwise, you will suffer. You will suffer. Inside yourself, you will suffer a lot. Why is she doing this? Can she just know this? This is so simple. Women are more deficient than men, in fact. They're just created like that. Women like to plan and plot and to test you and give you questions which they are looking at 4 lights ahead of you. You're looking at this traffic light. She reached there already. She wants to see how you'll get there. You have trouble. You have problems. Women have problems. Be realistic. If we sit and we analyze the life of the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ, he was complete and perfect in manners as a human being. He is the best. But if you look at his own wives, they were human beings. They are the best women ever. The best women. But at the same time, if you look at some of what they used to go through, you'll see they're human. They're human. Okay? So this is very important. Islam says, overlook the temporary shortcomings that may occur in receiving one's rights. You should not be too lenient. You accept anything. Somebody does not even pray. You say, oh, Islam says overlook. No, no, no. Islam does not say overlook that. The basics have to be there. But this is talking about problems which everybody has to face. There's no, and they lived happily ever after. Doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Any of you has that life? You can prove me wrong right now. You can prove me wrong. It doesn't happen. Everybody has problems. That's part of our nature as human beings. So, after knowing this, now the Sheikh says, the rights of the woman upon the husband. The rights of the woman upon the husband, meaning the rights the women deserve from you as a husband. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Qur'an, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And from His signs, from Allah's signs, from His signs that is the true God, from His signs that He is the true God who exists and should be worshipped, is that He created for you wives from among yourselves. And this could mean wives or could mean husbands. That you may find, it says there, repose in them. As-sakina, you may find tranquility, you may find peace, you may find harmony in them. That's what marriage is about. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And He has put between you, the husband and the wife, mawadda is affection. It's not just love. It's not just love. There's love, then there is affection, which is more than mawadda, is more than love. It's more than love. And rahmah and mercy. You'll never be able to experience that except in a marriage. That's reality. He says, the kind of affection and mercy that is found among spouses cannot be found among any other two. Like I just said, the Sheikh says that. The kind of affection and mercy that is found among spouses cannot be found among any other two. Allah has created for the spouses a continual form of affection and mercy. Thus, the law, meaning the law of Allah, has laid down rights that, when adhered to, further protects that affection and mercy from coming to an end or being lost. These rights are to protect and to preserve and to take you to that goal of continuous affection and mercy. That's why I told you last night, fall in love, akhi. Fall in love with your wife. Because you are in love one time, bring it back. This is what Islam says. Don't say the Sheikh is so dramatic. No, the Sheikh is not dramatic. The Sheikh is speaking the truth. She's your wife, she deserves that. If you don't show her love, who's going to show her love? Ask yourself that. Huh? Okay, we have to take a break. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah says, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And they, the women, have rights similar to those of their husbands over them, according to what is customary and good. Just like you expecting for them to fulfill something for you, Allah says in this verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, and they, the women, also have rights they're expecting which they deserve. In fact, this ayah, it defines it clearly that the rights in a marriage, they are equal. And they, women, have rights similar to those of their husbands over them, according to what is customary and good. This very concise passage, and in this ayah, this verse, has gathered together wealth that would take great journeys to amass. It is a general principle that states that women are equal to men in all of their rights, except for one matter that Allah has expressed in the same verse by saying, وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةً, but men have a degree of responsibility over them. In order to understand what rights they have and what rights are upon them, what is good and customary among the people in their relationships and behavior with one another in the family has been referred to. What is good and customary among a people is that which is consistent with their laws, beliefs, manners, and customs. This sentence has given man a balance by which he can weigh his actions with his wife concerning all types of matters and affairs. If he thinks about demanding something from her, he should recall that in parallel, something similar is obligatory upon him. If you think your wife should do something and you want to demand that, the Sheikh says, remember that she has the same right and to ask for that, and you have the same responsibility for you to do that for her. Ibn Abbas says, they used to see Ibn Abbas when he goes back home. Ibn Abbas, when he goes back home from the masjid or wherever, he would stand at the door of his house and take out his comb and comb his hair and his beard and clean his clothes. And they say to me, Ibn Abbas, you do this? He used to say, I beautify myself for my wife just as I like her to beautify herself for me. Right or wrong? They have rights over you just as you have rights over them. This is how the Sahaba, they understood this deen. That is why we always say we always have to understand and practice Islam just as the Sahaba they did. Islam is not just about praying. These are also rights you have to fulfill. Okay? The true Muslim recognizes the rights of his wife upon him. That's why, your sister, you have to find a man who knows the deen. She'll know how to treat you. She knows that you have rights. If you're just looking for somebody who's whatever you looked for, then I'm sorry. But a man who knows the deen, he has read this book, he came to his class, he read these ayahs, he got the tafsir, he knows I have rights. I have rights and there's rights demanding from me. And you'll be asked, like I told you, Allah will ask you. You'll stand on the day of judgment. How come you didn't show your wife love? You treated her like a maid. You'll be asked. At least try. Try. Again, Allah has said, and they women have rights similar to those of their husbands over them according to what is customary and good. The Prophet ﷺ has also said, truly you have rights upon your wives and your wives have rights upon you. The aware Muslim, the Muslim is aware, the Muslim is knowledgeable, he knows, always tries to fulfill the rights of his spouse upon him without considering whether his own rights are fulfilled, as he is desirous of preserving the feeling of affection and mercy between them. The aware Muslim, he knows I have a responsibility to do. I have a responsibility to do. I have to provide these rights of hers. Whether she provides my rights or not, okay, it's going to bother you, but that should not stop you from giving her rights. Furthermore, why is he doing this? Because he wants to preserve the feeling of affection and mercy. The Prophet ﷺ said, generally speaking, the one who does evil to you, you should do good to them. Your wife starts to act up, yapping every day, all times, you do good to her. The Sheikh said, sometimes you have to look with one eye. That's how it goes. Tayyib. Furthermore, he is also very desirous of defeating shaitan's opportunity of bringing enmity and disputes between them. Because the shaitan, he looks for that in order to separate them. You know the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says the shaitan, he sends out his troops and then they come back. This one says, I made him do this and that. He said, you didn't do anything. This one says, I made him do this and that. He says, you didn't do anything. This one says, I didn't leave him until I made him separate and fight with his wife. And he brings him close. He says, Ni'ma ant, you are the best. You are the best. The shaitan, that's the best thing they want. Apart from shirk. Another hadith says, the one who makes someone commit shirk, he gives him a crown to wear. The next thing they want to do, they are in your house, akhi, trust me. If you don't see them, I'm telling you. Every single thing. Divorce because of ketchup. Some of these things you hear, akhi, they make you go crazy. But the shaitan, he looks for that opportunity and makes you fight. So the aware Muslim, he knows this. He knows this. The aware Muslim, he knows this. He knows people are deficient. He knows even if she does not give me my rights, I have to give her her rights. Or she knows even if he does not give me my rights, I have to give him his rights. And he knows and she knows that there is a shaitan, or many, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, who are just sitting in this house, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the living room, maybe also in the washroom, just waiting to start World War III in the house. You have to know this. Okay? Since, the Shaykh says, since the religion is sincere advice, ad-dinu nasiha, the religion is sincere advice, I shall mention the rights of the woman upon the man now, and follow that with the rights of the man upon the woman. He'll begin with the rights of the woman, then the rights of the man. Perhaps the spouses will take the admonition. The Shaykh says, perhaps maybe you'll accept my advice and exhort one another and remind one another to the truth and exhort one another to patience. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. You have to advise your wife also. And she has to advise you also. Number one. I spoke also last time. Maybe some of you misunderstood me. I have to clear this. I spoke about the MashaAllah brothers. Right? It is not in any way intended to demean or demonize the word MashaAllah. You got what I said? Those MashaAllah brothers in the masjid. When he's in the masjid, he's MashaAllah. Immediately he goes home, he's a lion everybody is scared of. And nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. But he's always angry. When he enters the door, he's angry. And everything irritates him. Everybody's scared of him. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. That is the opposite, we say. It's the opposite. In fact, you should be the MashaAllah husband, the MashaAllah father in the home. Be MashaAllah everywhere. That's how you're supposed to be. You know, the Muslim is وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ. Make me a blessing wherever I am. That's how the Muslim lives. But your family deserves more of your good, more of your smile. Huh? Smile, akhi. What's wrong with you? The smile is simple. Smile. It's your wife, your children. And the women also, we said, don't be the MashaAllah sister. You're just good in the masjid and helping out the sisters. When you go home, everything is wrong for you. Everything is broken. Everything is outdated. Why is he late? He's 2 minutes late. Why is it? No. It doesn't work like that. You have to overlook some of the things. Overlook. Then you'll be happy. So number one, from the rights of the spouses, Allah says, truly, rights of the woman, sorry. Truly you have rights upon your wives. The Prophet said, truly you have rights upon your wives and your wives have rights upon you. The first of those rights is that a man must treat his wife in a good and proper manner. Allah has said, وَعَاشِرُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, and live with them honorably. The women. This is done by providing food for them when the person takes food himself. You cannot eat and you have no idea what your wife ate. What kind of a husband is that? And providing clothing for them when the person provides for himself. If you're thinking of getting a new pair of shoes, think of your wife also. Thinking of getting a new thawb, get a new abaya for your dress for your wife also, or a new dress. That's how it goes. I'm not with the women, I'm a husband also. But that's how it's supposed to be. Bil ma'ruf, like we said, bil ma'ruf, if you can. But don't think just for yourself. Now you're married. Now you're married. I know one day your wife, she told you, maybe she tells you this every day, she told you, no, now it's not just me, it's not just you, now it's us. Huh? Am I right or wrong? Now it's us. So think for us. He says, this also includes disciplining her in the proper way as ordered by Allah if one fears that she become that what is difficult. If she misbehaves, she doesn't want to listen, she doesn't want to pray, she does all the wrong things. It's your duty. It's her right, in fact. You should treat her and discipline her when she becomes wrong. Just as the teacher, when he sees the student doing wrong, what's his job? He has to teach the child what is right? You have to teach your wife what is right. That is her right. You are supposed to be her teacher. I said this here. When you got married, nobody told you this. But once you got married, you decided to be a teacher. And if you're going to get married, inshallah, soon, know that you'll become a teacher. And you can't be a teacher if you don't know how to teach, or if you don't have anything to teach. That's why you have to learn. That's why you guys are learning, alhamdulillah. That's why you are learning, sisters are learning. So we have to stop here though. We have to stop here, inshallah. You guys want to continue? That's enough for today. Huh? You have a question? Answer mine first, please. Please, first answer my question. You want to continue or you want to stop? I continue. We can, if we're doing another half hour. Huh? You have to leave. This side? Do you have questions? Do the women have questions which are private? I said yesterday, I got news that the sisters, they say they have some questions which they cannot ask in the class in front of the brothers. So I said I'll have time, make time if you have the questions. But if there's no questions, then do you have questions? Nobody. Okay, what's your question? We are stopping here. Yeah, yeah. What do you do? Get a job, akhi. Even if she has a job, it does not mean you sit at home and you say, well, my wife has a good job, it's enough. No, no, no. It doesn't go like that. What's your question? What's your question? So that's your question. You're asking, should you allow your wife to work? That's what you're asking me, right? No, you shouldn't. Shouldn't let your wife to work. That's my answer. Unless she works. Well, let's talk about, can a Muslim woman work or not? Because that's the question. A Muslim woman can work in the right Islamic environment. If there's no free mixing and she dresses up properly, then she can work. It's okay. Those are the conditions she has. It doesn't mean that because of the job she takes off her hijab. No, that's not allowed. Or she's sitting here and next to her is this guy, single guy, not even Muslim maybe, and in front of her, and on that side, and on that side. We all know what happens in the workplaces. She should not work like that. But if she's around a good environment Islamically, it's okay, she can work. Okay? Now, yes. Yeah, they worked together, but she never went out to work with the man. She was the owner. She employed the Prophet ﷺ. Your wife can employ you, akhi. There's no problem with that. She's the owner of the business and you run the business. That's how it went. You know? The owner does not have to work. She lets you work. That's how it goes. The woman can have a business, the woman can work, yes, she can earn money, yes. Yeah. But in the right setting, like we said, with those conditions. Naam, Sheikh. This applies in the Islamic lands and the non-Islamic lands. Even in the Islamic land, the woman is not supposed to work in a workplace where there's free mixing or where she has to take off her hijab. Even in the Islamic land, even if it's in Mecca, even if it's in Medina. Okay? Even here. And can they request that? Yes, they can request that. In fact, them themselves, the non-Muslims, now realize that. They have girls only schools now. They have fitness centers, gyms which are girl, women only. Then why not a women only working environment? If she's uncomfortable and they really need her, she can request that and they'll give it to her. Trust me. Yes, that's what I believe. Yeah. جزاك الله خير. فين الماء؟ في yes sorry sister في الغرفة هناك. It's okay, there's no recording. Yeah.